Bill O'Reilly once stood in a Fox News studio and shouted, "We'll do it live." That moment of losing control should have hurt his image. Instead, it did the opposite. It turned a breakdown into a defining trait. Viewers didn't see a polished anchor. They saw someone raw, unpredictable, and impossible to ignore. For years, he dominated cable news. His show led ratings, earned millions, and made him one of the most influential voices in American media. But behind that success, tensions were building. Controversies, allegations, and quiet settlements that would only surface later. What makes his story striking is the reversal. The man who spent his career questioning others eventually became the one under intense public scrutiny. And as pressure grew, so did questions about the anger and intensity behind his public image. Born in Brooklyn in 1949, O'Reilly grew up in a strict Irish Catholic household where discipline mattered more than comfort. Even as a child, he challenged what he didn't agree with. He questioned teachers, argued his points, and refused to back down when something didn't make sense. That mindset followed him through school and into sports, where competition and pressure shaped his mindset. No hesitation, no retreat. Over time, that attitude became instinct. He studied history, journalism, and even public administration, but didn't begin in television. He started as a teacher. Still, something didn't fit. He didn't want to repeat information. He wanted to challenge it. So he entered journalism, working small markets first, doing everything himself, reporting, filming, editing, chasing stories with no spotlight. That's where he learned the most important skill, not just reporting news, but finding it. Eventually, he worked for CBS and ABC, even reporting from conflict zones. Then came Inside Edition, where he first became a recognizable face. But everything changed in 1996 with Fox News and The O'Reilly Factor. Within a few years, the show became the most watched program in cable news, holding over 4 million viewers a night for more than a decade. It wasn't just popularity, it was influence. A single phrase or segment could spark national debate. Topics like the war on Christmas moved from television into mainstream political conversation. His style was direct and confrontational. He interrupted guests, challenged politicians, and controlled the pace of every interview. People didn't just watch to agree, they watched to react. That reaction became power. Advertisers couldn't ignore him, even if they disagreed, because the audience was too large to avoid. In the end, The O'Reilly Factor wasn't just a show. It was a force that shaped conversations across American media. If advertisers pulled away, competitors would instantly replace them in front of millions of viewers already watching. But Bill O'Reilly's real impact wasn't just financial, it was structural. He changed how news was delivered. News was no longer about neutrality. It became about choosing sides. The focus shifted from events to personalities, creating a new model, personality-driven news, where the host became the product. Once that model proved powerful, others followed. Figures like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity didn't invent it, they expanded it. O'Reilly didn't just succeed inside the system, he helped reshape it. On screen, he acted as a gatekeeper, questioning, challenging, and confronting what he saw as false or unfair. With only a chair and a microphone, he positioned himself as a voice for ordinary viewers against powerful elites. Supporters saw him as their voice. Critics saw him as aggressive, but no one could ignore him. Off-screen, his life was tightly controlled. In 1996, he married Maureen McPhilly, a public relations professional. For years, everything appeared stable and carefully managed. But in 2011, that image broke. A public divorce escalated into a custody battle, where his daughter testified about an alleged violent incident. O'Reilly denied it, but the narrative shifted. The case became less about divorce and more about image versus reality. Custody was awarded to McPhilmy, widening the gap between public persona and private allegations. Long before that, quieter complaints had already surfaced. Multiple workplace allegations involving employees on his show. Most were settled privately, forming a pattern that stayed out of public view. Individually small, but collectively significant. Then in April 2017, a New York Times investigation revealed settlements involving at least 5 women and about $13 million. What was once hidden became public. The reaction began with advertisers, not viewers. Major brands like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Hyundai, and T-Mobile pulled ads in rapid succession. Ratings held, but the system around the show collapsed. Pressure shifted to Fox News. The issue became public, financial, and unavoidable. On April 19, 2017, Bill O'Reilly was fired. No farewell, no final broadcast, just a statement and the end of an era. At the time, he was in Italy after meeting Pope Francis. The contrast was striking. A moral commentator losing his platform within hours. The image collapsed instantly. From controlling live TV to being removed without debate, his dominance ended in a single announcement. Interpretations split. Some called it cancel culture. Others called it consequences finally arriving. Two narratives, one event. Yet both sides kept watching. Because even after the fall, O'Reilly remained impossible to ignore. He once said, "Success doesn't remove loneliness, it makes it more visible." After everything, it felt less like reflection and more like reality. His legacy isn't about right or wrong, it's about what changed. Before him, news hosts stayed neutral. After him, personality became the product, opinion became the format, and the host became the center. That model didn't end with him, it spread. Figures like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity inherited it. O'Reilly didn't just exist in media history, he reshaped it. His influence also reached politics. He shaped how many conservative viewers interpreted events, and his framing entered political language itself. His relationship with Donald Trump reflected this overlap between media and power. Over time, phrases and narratives from his show became part of everyday political speech, when media becomes culture. But influence cuts both ways. To supporters, he was direct and fearless. To critics, he deepened division by pushing issues to extremes. That's the paradox. He helped reshape media into a personality-driven system. After 2017, he rebuilt. No TV network, just no-spin news. A direct subscription platform with full control. Smaller scale, but greater independence. Financially stable at $80 minus $100 million. Supported by books, subscriptions, and speaking events. Less explosive income, more steady structure. Even his life became quieter. Private homes, low visibility, controlled exposure. But the biggest change wasn't external, it was internal. The aggressive, high-pressure rhythm of nightly television disappeared. In its place came something slower, more controlled. He now chooses what to cover, when to speak, and how far to push. And that changed everything. Today, O'Reilly no longer sits at the center of mainstream media. He doesn't shape national conversation the way he once did, but he also doesn't depend on it. His audience is smaller, but intentional. Not passive viewers, but people who actively seek him out. That is the transformation. He didn't lose influence, he condensed it. Less reach, less noise, but also less vulnerability to removal. And that raises a deeper question. Was this collapse or a different form of power? Because in today's media world, disappearing doesn't always mean losing control. Sometimes it just means stepping out of the system and continuing to speak without it.